across the Paranormal Party. That is where the paranormal and the party meet together on one big butt show.
And we are your hosts, the Connor Sisters. And I'm Ashley.
And I am Misty, and we're going to be your guides through this wonderful, crazy paranormal party. Welcome to the Paranormal Party.
Yeehaw! Let's get this party started.
This one, and I'm so sorry, we are doing Springer and we're doing this one Facebook Live at the same time. So we're going to have to describe things as we go along, which everybody knows that's the cool part of it. So it's very descriptive. Last night, we are talking about some of, this time of year, the veil is so thin that people tend to offer things of like witchcraft classes, magic classes. They tend to, oh my God, I love all these people on here. This whole line. If you could see us on actually our Spreaker, you would see that we got our Cynthia, our Lindsay, our Matt, our John the Baptist, our TJ, all of them in here. The cool thing is they all have that kindred spirits with us. So, hey Tara! So this is some of the things that we wanted to come to you and talk to you about. So people probably know, hi Mike, people probably know that me and Ashley have been practicing for a minute. I like to use the word practicing due to the fact of when I say the word witchcraft, everybody's asshole just tenses. Don't you notice that, Ashley?
I don't care. I don't talk to a lot of people. That's good. That's nice.
That's Ashley. She doesn't care, but I did. I did because I didn't want to
Now, everybody gets irritated about everything. I'm just going to call it how it is. Yeah, I'm out there. I'm a witch. I would do witchcraft. Yeah, I might do some darker stuff too. And then I'm going to do some glamour. And then get my surgeon to juice up my forehead. I mean, everything. Put on some eyelashes. Yeah. I'm going to offend 5 people in just that conversation. Yeah. So
when she walks into a room, she knows at least 5 people don't like her starting out.
I know, it's automatically offensive.
At least 5 people. Hey, yeah. Melissa! I'm so glad that everybody is coming in. Hello, Ronnie! I'm so glad that everybody is coming in here to talk about this. So, we noticed that there is a hubbub right now of offering these things. And the reason why is people really feel connected with a lot of these things because of the veil being so thin. You're going to get your ancestors coming in. You're going to get all kinds of crazy stuff coming in. You'll be like, why didn't I feel this before? Maybe I am a witch. Maybe I'm not a witch, but I have this connection, this spiritual connection. So we're going to talk to you about some of the ways. One, people are always like, oh, Mike, we love you too. I am very distracted by comments because I will start talking to y'all without talking about a damn thing I want to talk about because I love y'all so much.
One thing is, like, people will be like, okay, well, how can I even celebrate this? Everybody talks about your ancestors. How if you do this and that and the other. How that is you remember them. Pat O'Keefe, actually, I don't know if I'm supposed to be able to say that.
Wow, you got a censor I don't know about?
No, I don't know that we got invited to her house for the dumb dinner.
Listen, man, I don't know about that much.
I was like, hold on. Yeah, I know.
I don't know.
It was years ago, so it's fine. I mean, it was like... I think it was okay. Shit.
Okay, so
everybody's
some
like,
of us...
we're going to get you to do some sketchy shit, but I don't want y'all to tell me. So now it's just so much sketchy shit all the time. It's so much sketchy shit all the time. I don't remember which one's the sketchy shit I'm not supposed to do.
I'm going to tell you why that she's talking like this. Is because when you have very professional jobs, sometimes...
Well, she's retired now. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, but the description of it is sometimes when you have professional jobs, they hold it against you if you say you're a witch, you're spiritual, you're metaphysical. So a lot of times we get invited to things, but it's on the down low. So they'll be like, hey, let's come do this, but don't say anything. So that's why you were like, Pat O'Keefe. I'm like, why wouldn't it be okay? The other day there was a post on Facebook that was hilarious, guys. And it was Stephanie, her daughter, had posted it. The matching black hair. I'll have to read that for our...
I think you've always... No, I had red hair the first time we met. I've had black hair for a hot minute, though.
But anyway, like, she made a post the other day, and it was talking about newbie witches and things like that. And I had said, yeah, I think sometimes it's just a fad, which it is, guys. And I really want y'all's opinion on this. And then other times, it's not. You could definitely feel it's your path. But since the stories of Sabrina, things like that, it gave a different light on just the path of being a witch. So I think that's really popped up. You, Sephora, you saw that. But anyway, so when that happened and I made that, I was like, well, maybe next would be Puritans. We don't have to really worry about it. Pat wrote in there, she's like, ladies, do not, they burned us. And I realized what we had just said. She was like, oh God, back in the day. So some of us take our path really strong, and some of us take it to where we're not, I don't think they take it as strong. What do you think?
But I do believe that, and there's a lot of, people that's like, hey, I just want to be, something different, which it's great that it would put people on the path that they're supposed to be on and take it seriously and things like that. But back to what I was saying, how to celebrate it is you could do a dumb dinner, and I was joking with Pat, and I was like, you just inviting us to tell us to shut up and that we're dumb. I was saying that at the time because it was like, you are supposed to quietly appreciate the food and bring pictures of people that's passed and your ancestors. You're supposed to honor them in that type of way. But I think, like I said, it is great because people are searching and seeking, like back to what you were saying, they're searching and seeking for that interaction with people, to have that interaction with your body, because you got to think about it. Right now, you're looking at us through a virtual field. So you kind of, it's like you're close to people, but you're not. You don't have, it's like you're craving that intimate moment with another person.
Connection.
Yeah.
So let's read some of these comments, guys. So these are some of the things we're going to touch on. We're going to touch on our top 5, like me 5, her 5, and maybe y'all's 5 of do's and don'ts. I'm going to tell y'all some shit I fucked up. I'll be very honest with y'all.
Oh my God, Cynthia says she's a newbie witch. Can you teach me to be witchy like you?
I love that. Cynthia is...
We paid her to say that.
We did. Because she is true and true, like one of our... It's funny because we will meet kindred spirits, meaning we know that they have that witch flowing in them. I just take for granted. I think they've been practicing forever. So I'll start talking to them. They'll be like, no, I had one lady when we used to give readings at this one location. We were talking to her like she was a witch. She was like, no, I just started when y'all suggested. Now she's on that path. And I was like, really? Because I really thought a lot of times when y'all sit down with me, I'll think y'all know exactly what I'm talking about because I'll talk to you about it. And then you're all just like, wow, I never, Oh, shit.
That's kind of like the way it is me now. It's kind of like, so it's like asking people if they're a witch or do witchcraft, because we're so submerged in that. It's kind of like, hey, you like Dr. Pepper? That's just how it feels like with me. It's just it's kind of like that because people don't realize the everyday things that you do that is witchcraft. Yeah. Like blowing out of candles on a birthday cake, or just taking a time for yourself where you just think about your life, drive, do something, you zone out. That's more so something that we take as more of a ceremonial or ritual type things because we take an account of what happens with your body. We put our intentions out there. We do things like that.
That's kind of cool. I'm reading through some of these as Ashley's talking, and she's right. We just take into consideration. TJ's actually going to celebrate. She's kind of like talking about a dumb dinner. Let's see. I've noticed since I've been around witches, mediums, the senses have been awakened. What y'all doing to me? Yeah. Last night we were on a Holly and Dallas was on a live, but me and John the Baptist, which people are like, who is this man? We've actually had people say, why do you keep calling him John the Baptist? And it was during a seance at the women's club, I think it is. Steve Weeks had us out for. This is the cool thing. People don't understand that seance we were having up there. John the Baptist, the first time he had ever had any interactions like that, a spirit he could see crawling towards him down the hallway. Coolest shit ever. And we're trying to like type and tell people. And like Steve and Darren knew because he was there. But everybody else was like, I have no idea. And me and John the Baptist was like, man, that was so crazy. And it was so cool. And he was like, that changes it for me. You will notice that when you surround your people, you surround yourself with people who are more open, you tend to, just like if you're on the paranormal path, you'll notice that people will all of a sudden, you'll start experiencing these things, Our kids are teenagers, so they're participating as well. That's right, TJ. She was saying that she has brought in, that her people are actually, her kids are going to celebrate. And I love that. We love our Cynthia too. So let's dive right in, guys. Oh, go on.
With Chad, man, once you get with a witch, everything's so intense. Get you a witchy bitch, okay? Even the sex. And then they'll be like, hold on, you feel that? Feel that? Oh, there's this one guy that, at work, he was not a fucking witch. He was an idiot. But he was like, here, I can make a woman orgasm with just my hand. Oh, you feel that? This and another. So I have been around people that, especially with Reiki and the energy flow and things like that, you feel more, and I've studied more into the sexual thing, because I'm like all about trying to transfer that energy sexually, like how you would just touch someone or just like kind of put your essence out there. I don't know. Is there such thing as like energy spiritual rape?
Yes.
To make them into it?
Yes.
I mean, she will I do it all the time.
Y'all make sure, just keep your, like,
I do. And it's like a slowed down moment when I know I'm hitting on a guy and they're kind of, it's like, I'm like,
I don't know.
I want you to think about that. I did like I don't know if it's sexercise.
I think she's raping y'all with her mind. Y'all got to wear like a vest or something.
Not everybody. But no, I would do witchcraft to make a certain person. Now this is bad. Don't do this. Mm-hmm. But I would make a certain person, because I knew they already thought sexually about me anyways, because they told me about it. But I would do experiments where I would do witchcraft and have a certain instant in mind, and then they would talk about it the next day.
Well, notice how she was like a certain instance in mine.
Because I was trying to curb the energy.
This dirty. I think it just went dirty, and you done fogged up all my windows in the Bronco. I can't even.
Okay, so the largest energy transfer you can do is like more of a sex thing. It's more primal, which is witchcraft is more primal too.
Oh yeah.
And like I had this crazy motherfucker say that I had to be banned because I was into sex spells.
God.
I was like,
oh God.
Jesus.
We've been, if I had a nickel for every time somebody asked me to do a sex spell, I tell you what, I'd have maybe half $1.
You know? $half $1. No, I'm saying, okay, like, I feel like that's kind of like a video game. You're like, okay, I got this certain amount of magic and this and another. And then it's like, you want to level up? You're going to have to fuck this guy. And he's the ugliest guy ever. And I'm just like,
how did this go down there? We were talking about Witchcraft-Magic 101.
That's how I imagine sex spells being like
sex spells. Yes.
You
There's that Steve Hodge. Go on, get in there, honey. Sex spell.
He must have heard that. I put that out in the atmosphere. He's like, what?
Oh,
they're talking about
live. I gotta get on that live.
No, I'm saying like that is the most powerful instance, and the masturbation and thing like masturbation, like when you're thinking about something like charge it. I don't do that. That's too much work unless it's something I really want. Like
masturbation.
I get sidetracked.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about sex really quick, but then we got really good things to talk about down the road.
I have like facts and everything that came off nowhere.
I don't know what is going. I think
people needed to hear it.
Don't
even lie. There's people that I know, and I've done this too, that if I want somebody to get in touch with me, then, you know, you do that to something just to get them to, and then like a few minutes later, they'll get in touch with you.
Okay, so a lot of people don't understand a lot of ways that you could charge things as masturbation. A lot of root workers actually get into that. They'll be like, okay, if you want somebody to talk to you or something like she was saying, make sure, Woo! Hold on. There's a movie called Voodoo Dick. Oh God! Oh Lord! John the Baptist said, "How much for a sex spell? Asking for a friend." Hey y'all, get your Christmas presents now. Order while you can.
Wait a minute, we're not prostitutions. I'm not trying to give you we're not prostitutes saying we're witches. Yeah. Like, this is a family show. Something went wrong.
Somebody said, "Can I get?" Because you start talking about that.
I don't know. Somebody out there.
She's like, "Can I get a sex spell?"
I wasn't even thinking about this before.
No,
I wasn't thinking about this before.
Week, y'all.
No.
Anyway, so let's talk about 101 magic stuff like that. So some of the things that Ashley wrote down, some throughout
witches, or she's witches, like little facts about witches, odd ones.
Yeah, so randomly throughout, she is going to tell us some random facts about witches. Y'all can chime in too. I would love to hear your experiences, and we're going to interact, okay? Sex spells, we're going to have to visit. Maybe we should do a whole show on sex spells. Like, seriously. We had an offer one time from this guy, and he was like, in my coven, we do spells, but we like to charge them by sex.
That is a scam with stuff. I've read that in books, like I read back. They'll be like, you want to be a part of my witchcraft? You're going to have to fuck me. And that stuff like that, yeah.
You figured that out all on your own.
No, I was just sharing that. That's good.
I'm not screwing anybody unless I get dinner in the movie, okay? That's all I'm saying, all right? We can't even do spell work unless I get dinner in the movie. All right, so let's talk about some of the 101s, right? So what is your top 5 things of do's? Let's start with them, and then I'm going to tell you some horror stories of some shit I've done, y'all. People believe that when you come out as a witch, you know all kinds of shit, right? Like, didn't you realize that? Like, people would ask us stuff, and we would be like,
I do know all kinds of shit.
Trial and error also, because you think that you are guided. Don't get me wrong. Your ancestors are like, come on, let's communicate and all kinds of stuff. You'll find your guides quicker and stuff like that. You'll find your path, but you're going to fuck up, and that's all right. Just make sure you don't kill nobody. That's it.
Okay.
No, seriously. I mean, think about, we're going to tell you a story about what we did with a love spell, a tincture. Tincture is more in depth. You have an alcohol base and you let them set for so long, and you have to put certain herbs in it set at certain times of the month. And then they set in a dark place and they marinate, and then you sift it out. And what you have left is what you use that tincture for. So it's normally newbies don't jump on that, guys. But these two did. I'm going to tell you the outcome of that. And that's going to be one of your don'ts. Also, so let's talk about our do's. Get it?
Well, our do's, sorry, I was thinking about our don'ts and I wanted to add some points in. But the do's is that, like, whatever cause do you go to it, don't feel like you got to be pigeonholed, because people have the, like, this whole thing that when you come out as a witch that you're Wicca. And that's, like, really not, that's not. You have so many different venues. So that's something that's really a don't automatically be like, I am a witch, I am Wicca, because that's a different venue. You go that other way. I think that, like I said, whatever calls to you goes to you. And I was thinking about that with herbs too. There's certain herbs that I always want to put in everything regardless, because they're more universal herbs.
Right.
A good thing to get started with is get you a universal kit, because there's a lot of herbs and a lot of stones that's always universal, and you can use with anything that you want to do. And then there's the obvious ones of lavender, rose. That's an every
base.
I love
God.
basil. Bay leaf is
it's a go-to. There is certain go-tos, like you were saying.
And then basil is one of my favorites for some reason. There's certain ones, and also they'll say what you need at the time will call to you. I think they live up there. It's all right.
Anyway, we got visitors, guys. I guess we conjured somebody up.
Or maybe not. It's all that sex talk. But
it is. Brought the preacher around, guys. We're at the church.
God, is it? Why'd they park on the side of the road? God.
Well, this live went great.
Different.
This might be, I don't know.
What is your dues while I watch what they do?
Okay, Ashley's going to watch. Everybody knows why we come to the church, guys, and that is because my son, maybe they are. My son uses most of our internet because he is homeschooled, so we have to search. We are on the search, so if you actually see somebody knock on the door, y'all can answer it with us, guys. Anyway, let's go back to some other things that our dues. Ashley was saying, find your path. It's going to come to you. I don't want to keep saying don't, but your path will come to you. Surround yourself with like-minded people. I can tell you so many more don'ts than I can do's, but also make sure that you are doing this because you want to. Because whatever you have in you is going to come out in your spells. And that's kind of like one of the don'ts that we're going to talk about. So make sure this is a path for you. It's not a path for somebody else in your life. Also, Druid Magic. So Steve has so many great questions that we're going to talk about. And he mentioned the hurt no one and stuff. Also want to talk to you all a little bit about that. These rules that have came down and believe that all witches adhere to, but they don't. And so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that too. But some of the things, make sure it's a path for you. Make sure that you're going to find your own path. If your soul, one of the things that I realized that I was a true witch, true. And I like to call it practitioners. I don't like to use that word witch because I think it is so many bad things stacked up with it. And I know a lot of people are reclaiming that name. And it's a little bit easier, but I was in the broom closet for a long time. It is, so I do say practitioner, so I'll ask you things like if I think that you're a kindred soul, I'll say stuff like, how long have you been practicing, stuff like that. But just make sure that you are on the path for you. A lot of times people group us all together in what they believe is the path for us. You know what I'm saying? And that's not it. So people talk about different kinds. Find the path that you find that resonates with your soul the most. And we're going to talk about those a lot. Broom closet. Yeah. I was in the broom closet a long time.
Druid Magic, honestly, that one is a little bit more difficult to get books on. I went on like my little thrift book page that you can get a lot of good stuff for very cheap. So, but I was going on there, and that is a little bit harder to get books. Usually it's all Wicca. This is the first thing you get into is Wicca and things like that. But Druid Magic, I have ordered some books about that because I want to get more into that because I am Irish. So you would think I would go down that. Yeah. With magic, people want to talk about using little elementals or using this and that and the other. Like they're like, I'm going to call upon this dragon and stuff. And you're like, well, what fucking dragon, man? That is a different form of that. I don't really call on that type of stuff or mythical beings because they say that they can help you through your witchcraft and things. And you can also pick out, they're gone now, guys, it's good. You can also pick out.
Nobody can see that shit.
I know.
Nobody can see.
They were sitting there for a while, but they're gone now.
Okay, Grandpa, get off the porch. We gotta show.
But, so the mythical beings, they say, you're like, well, why are they calling on these dragons? Why are some people have all these dragons around and like little like totems and things of this? Because they're drawn more to that type area and mythical beings. Like I was saying, I can pick out sometimes when there's a mythical being that is more influencing on the person because they'll pick up the mythical being characteristics. So that's a different venue of magic. Like I said, I don't call on that type of stuff because you have to understand it's kind of like a Pokemon, like an imaginary Pokemon. That's the best way I could say it because you got to find ways of taking care of that, how to like get it to come around, how it not to turn on you and things like that. So that's not my area. I got too much responsibility as it is.
Well, also, I want to say a do is educate yourself. People will say, well, I was intuitive led. I just knew how to do this. I believe there is a certain amount of that. Like, I believe your intuition and your ancestors will lead you to something. But if I go, it's kind of like a doctor. If we say that we're a doctor and then we just start cutting on people and doing surgery, I ain't got a fucking clue how to do that, guys. So if I'm doing that to you and saying that I just felt led to that, then that's going to do no one no good. And I want y'all to think of witchcraft and magic kind of like that. You are a practitioner. You are someone who's crafting this. You need to educate yourself on, so that's one of my do's is make sure you educate yourself. Make sure you go out there and you learn. If you are drawn to herbs, that could be your path. You could be a kitchen witch. I think TJ mentioned that you can put it in your food. That's a kitchen witch. That's somebody, and a hedge witch is somebody who does things more with like the herbs and stuff. These women, you know, they have to learn. They don't just one day out there. So when people say, oh, you know, you don't have to do this. Yeah, you do. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I have done a lot of trial and error in what I do. And I want to make sure that when I give that to my people, when they are, and there is always one thing that will stick with every witch that maybe she did for somebody that didn't come through the way, or there is one incident that I will tell you about that really weighs heavy on me. So the one thing you got to do and the one responsibility is educate yourself, guys. You can be led to the path, but you have to take the education, you know?
And what I'm all saying about this is don't feel like you're like, oh, I'm a kitchen witch. That's the only thing I can do. Don't feel like you have to be stuck in that thing. If something calls to you and you want to try something else too, you can always do that. Don't feel like, okay,
you're locked in.
Like it's kind of like Christianity because everybody kind of knows about that. You may, like, you believe in God and you were raised Baptist, but don't feel like you don't have to stay in that one little area. That's what I'm saying with that. I wanted to bring with him and his familiars. Okay, what about familiars? Me with my familiar, there's spirit animals and then there's familiars and there's things like that. I'm drawn to rabbits. I know that is my spirit animal, and I have a familiar that kind of came to me as that. Familiars are just something that you bond with, kind of like that. It's not like you're going to turn into them. But I do have a fact about that I'm going to run into.
Before you say that, Savannah said, I got to go. So bye, honey. But she said, message me that sex bell needed for Saturday night. Oh, girl, we'll help you out any way we can. You're a local witch with the mostest, man. Yeah.
With the black cats, because everybody wants to go to black cats, and I was always so annoyed by that. I'm like, why the fuck's everybody going to choose a black cat? That is so cliche of being a witch. Even in the Bible, one of the first ones, or it was an older script. I don't know if it was the Bible. I think it was, but don't quote me on that. It was, they came upon a whole bunch of witches, and when they did, they turned into rabbits and ran away. Mm-hmm. It's not just into, I mean, I ain't turning into some animal and running away, but it's not into just the black cats. Like, there's been other ones. They believe you can turn into anything. But black cats, it comes from the 15th century. Puritan Christians, a German witch went fucking, balls to the wall, like, fuck you, dude, fuck you, spitting this and that and the other in the court. And when they took her out to fucking burn her, it was a flash of light when she was being burned, and a cat jumped from the stake and ran through the whole crowd.
Oh man, that was badass.
So that was it. They were like,
that was badass,
that
man.
bitch, because she went balls to the wall and then turned into a black cat. So that is where they think the black cat theory came from with that.
They're supposed to, black cats are also, or any cat is supposed to be able to walk through the world, meaning that they could see through that veil really close. So
are rabbits. So
that's what I was going to mention.
Rabbits. Go into that. But also catnip and a lot of stuff, and you'll see if you want something to
catnap.
I said nip.
You said nap. I thought you were going to take a nap.
No, goddamn it. But anyways, with the catnip, you put that in spell work and coffee. Coffee and catnip are two of the speeding up type things, and also reflexes like a cat, and you can go through and things like that. So catnip will make things happen faster.
It will speed that shit up. I love this. Okay, so Amy says, I do not practice, but have done research. I love that, honey. We are, by the way, me and Ashley are Capricorns. So even when we do tarot cards, and we do any divination gift that we give, we studied it for like 9 months or longer every day, trying to do spreads for ourselves and stuff before we can produce a product we knew were going to be good for the public. So we don't really take things out willy-nilly. So I love that she said that I do research, and each practitioner kind of makes their own magic with different areas of the craft. Kitchen great. Exactly. I fucking love that you brought this up. I'm going to give you a clap because let's go on to the don'ts. We have so many more don'ts than we do do's.
Okay, well, hold on. Witchcraft is like a signature. Everybody is like unique with their own signature, right? You can try to mimic it, but it won't be the same because that's your imprint, that's your thumbprint and everything. I noticed when I was starting out, everything I did had a dark twist on it. And I'm like, God damn it. Maybe
I don't see where that came from. I don't see it at all, guys.
My personality is like that. Like, it's I would get something, but it would be from a shitty point of view to the point I really had to take a pause in witchcraft. I was like, man, I'm kind of like, I'm getting what I want, but it's sometimes not what I want.
Right.
And it's kind of in a fucked up way. So I'm like, God damn, Darren, you gonna say hi to everybody?
He is. He's being sociable.
Jesus
Get back on your
Christ.
point. Get back on your point.
He's like promoting himself up in here. But anyways,
go back to your point. God damn it. Leave poor Darren alone. God
Trying
damn.
to make friends. God bless him. Anyway. So,
nobody's going to say anything because they're going to be like, Ashley is going to go at us. Poor Darren.
Okay, so Missy, yours is, what is your fingerprint?
Okay, so this is the thing. What Ashley was saying is completely right. And Amy, thank you for bringing that up. I love that, honey. So these are some of my don'ts, and I can tell y'all those because I've fucked up a lot, guys. I have.
Bar stuff.
No.
I feel like I fuck up a lot.
I have, but by the way, you are not. Let me ask you a question. You going to go to a man who builds a car for the first time and says, take this car, it's great. Are you going to go to a man who's fucked up so many cars that he knows exactly what to do? You're going to go to that fuck up, y'all.
I'm not.
That's me. I'm going to tell you why, because I'm going to tell you exactly what not to do, because I've already done it. You cannot, a teacher teaches because they can't do. A lot of people say, right? You got to have somebody who will do it, but the teacher gives the wisdom. I'm all about the wisdom, man. I've done a lot of shit. And I will tell you, because I think somebody who tells you they're perfect and they went in that room and they started doing spells and they came out perfect are fucking lying. And I will tell you that every time. You don't do that like that. It is from you. So
was it Harry Potter when they do stuff and it blow up? That's Misty.
But I'm going to tell you, I got it down, guys. I'm going to tell you a lot of don'ts. I love this because I can't get in there. Eclectic witch. Yes. I love this. So we're going to talk just being my normal self. Oh, I'm an alien. About a week ago, my grandpa passed. And he told my dad that 2 men in black visited him and told him it wasn't his time, but it would be soon. My grandpa was Pentecostal priest. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you, John the Baptist. We've talked about this before. I was raised Pentecostal. The weird thing is Pentecostal is so against the other side of this witchcraft that they actually have some of that stuff in there, like laying hands on anointing oil, certain things, but they take it to the other aspect of it. So I could really understand witchcraft very well because of some of these things that I was taught in the Pentecostal church. I believe we do get visitors. I believe that when we are so close to the veil, especially this time of the year, we get visitors. When they start talking to us and telling us things like, hey, I saw this person, and then you're just like, wait a minute, that person died so long ago. But that person getting ready to pass, they understand that it's a different level of understanding with them.
Yeah, it freaks me out a little bit. Like when people are like, yeah, Grandpa came and talked to me. I'm like, because I know that sand of time is going through that. And I'm like, oh, God, soon they're gonna, that's the way I always think. And that's a horrible way of thinking.
Okay,
we're all just a bunch of collecties.
I'm
sorry, I was reading somebody else's comment. I know that was kind of random.
Anyway, let's see. My grandma told me to use losing one monkey doesn't stop the circus before he died. Hold on, my grandpa told us that losing one monkey doesn't stop the circus before he died. Oh, she's saying that just because they lost them, it doesn't mean. Okay, so let's get back to some of our don'ts, guys. So some of our don'ts. Everybody who says they're a witch, everybody automatically believes that they're Wiccan. Wiccan is a religion. There is, all the colors in the crayon box. That's how many witches there are out there. I did not know this until coming out or talking to people about being witches. Then all of a sudden they're like, wait a minute, I'm this. We met a guy who acted like he was a Wiccan, came in as a Wiccan, and he told us the reason. Later on, he admitted that he was in Thelema. Thelema, it has to do with Crowley. You got to give something living to take something to get something back. So he would sacrifice something. But he paraded as a Wiccan. He said because they believe in don't hurt, don't harm. Do you know how many times I've been trying to kick out of a damn group on Facebook, witches group, because somebody will say, I need a love spell or I need this. And I'll be like, okay, this is what you do because you're asking for education. I'm going to educate you. And then they'll be like, no, that's glamour, or glamour's thought to be dark arts.
When I first came in, I was freaking out. I was like, I don't want to do anything fucking dark. I don't want to do anything fucking dark. So I'd research stuff like glamour. Putting on makeup, that's glamour technically. Yeah. Me going to the plastic surgeon, that's glamour. Or, getting juiced up, that's technically glamour because I'm doing something, putting a chemical in my body that is making me altered to be prettier so that other people will be more enamored.
So this is the thing. I think that people, whatever you choose to think is dark, is going to be dark. Whatever you choose is not. So follow your own path. Don't let anybody tell you. There's 1,000. That's why you're getting so many eclectic witches coming out. And the magic is you, your intent. So that's where I'm going to tell you the don'ts. Don't ever practice when you are feeling bad. That's what happened to me. So let's tell them about that.
Which one?
The tincture.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
So we were going to do our first tincture. Okay. We did our salt circle in the yard, which, by the way, if you throw salt in your yard, if you ever driving by and you see a big salt circle, it's because there's a witch that has done a salt circle and will burn all that grass, y'all. So we were doing our salt circle. We did it. We did all of that. And one of the parts is you're supposed to see this pink light, this glow come from your heart, and it actually charges the bottles. Okay. That's what you're putting in there. That's that love spell. That's that incantation. That's what's coming towards you. Well, I was in a really bad place. And what's the one thing people want when they're in a really bad place is love. So I charged that shit with all I had. Mind you, I was in a very bad relationship, going through like a separation, going through all these things that my mind was just not right. So I am just charging that thing with all I got, just whoo, like one of them Care Bears and fat Care Bears, giving all that love out, right? I was giving her hell, y'all. So we bottled that shit, let it sit under a counter for like a month. Then we... This is so bad. This is why I'm like, come to me for love spells, guys. So we went down and actually had her brew that she had done. And I had my brew. And we didn't mix them. We were like, we're going to market this.
Oh, yeah.
So we took it down. We had all these little bottles. And we gave all of our sister witches...
It's
okay.
like, okay, you know, off of Sleeping Beauty when they give her a gift.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, I want her to do this. And I want her to do that. And mine, I was like, I just want to have a good time. No commitment. Just go out there. Feel good about yourself. Have a good time. Get people to hit on you. That was mine.
Mine was, give it all the love. You need this love. Rah. Just all this bullshit, right? Giving it all. I had just putting it all in there, guys. And we gave them out. And we were like, before we market this, because every good witch needs to try our products. Giving these out. So.
Oh, mine was good.
I had, about a couple months later, the one that took mine, she said, this.
She is a perfect order. Now, it ain't nothing wrong with that. She's perfect. I'm talking about bodybuilder.
Yeah.
I'm talking
Beautiful,
about, like,
beautiful soul.
Yeah.
She put it on to go in the club, y'all. She said automatically she was depressed. Thought that she was undesirable. She was like, this is a curse. So we always used to joke and be like, hey, let's give somebody that curse of Missy's love spell.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've done that shit. Don't
hilarious.
ever practice
I was
when
like,
you're in a
don't
bad.
put your shit with mine.
She
like,
would. She would give
I'm
it
like,
away.
and we would like joke, like this one person, we'd be like, this is the good one. Don't let it touch me.
And I was like, here, guys,
Guys, take it.
Yeah, they're like, no.
Everybody, they had to make a support system for Misty's failed ones. They're just all crying together. They're pretty.
So yeah,
there was another that one thing that really freaked me out, fucked me up. Well, okay, here's another don't. If you actually you can sometimes get with people that want to use your energy.
Oh God, yeah.
I'm trying to say this nice.
No, just keep your circle pure. That's what you should say.
Well, okay.
You'll get a succubus.
If you don't feel good about doing magic, don't do magic.
Yeah.
And you can also, and if you don't want to be the bitch, I sometimes when I'm in a magic circle and I'm like, this shit ain't jiving, I will mentally block my hands from their hands and I will say things that I'm like, do not transfer my energy to them. I'm just here as a connector for the rest of the group because I don't feel good about the group. Also, watch out for people that'll take your energy to fuel their witchcrafts, which will be that they take your energy and use it to fuel what they're trying to do rather than making the whole circle good. So something stupid, I wanted breast implants.
Oh,
so
Lord, we're gonna go down
magically, the gods of tits sent me, one of my candles broke, and it perfectly formed in a titty. So I'm like, motherfucker, I want to goddamn get me some new tits. So I'm like sitting here, and I'm like, okay, you want tits too, right? We both want tits. Let's do this together. So then I'm turning around, bending over in my suitcase, my little witch suitcase, because it's a witch on the go. And I turn around, this bitch is over there fueling and doing shit without me on the titty. And I'm like, dude, we're supposed to be doing this together. That bitch got tits.
Well, that was, these are some things that you can tell whether they're sucking the energy out of your group.
I'm not saying necessarily she was sucking the energy. Just make sure that when you're around people, and just make sure you get your tits in there too, okay?
Yeah.
Not just one set of tits.
You'll notice that when you're practicing with these people, there will be a stop on everybody else, but they'll be reaping the benefits of every spell you do. That's the biggest clue. Like, I even went to a person and said, look, something's up. Nobody else is getting this, but we're doing this practicing together. And that person was reaping it bigger than shit. And they were like, well, maybe it just has to trickle down. And then when they left, it was like a floodgate. Then everybody was reaping the benefits. So that's some cues. If you're practicing with somebody who is more of like a succubus, they're sucking the energy out of it. Darren has a good question, but I want to hit Cynthia's first. Did she say paganism? Yes. I love the word paganism. It is such a beautiful umbrella.
I'd love to give me a pagan man.
Yeah.
He's all up in them women. him, and he'd do all nice things and pagans.
Why don't you get close and dirty right to that screen?
I'm reading. I can't see with these glasses on.
Is an umbrella for so many.
Like breathing.
Is so many religions. I agree. Wiccan is one of them. All Wiccans are witches, but not all witches are Wiccan. Boom. That is perfect. I love the way she puts that. I have never chosen the Wiccan path, but people I had this guy at work, and he was like, "You're Wiccan," and he kept saying that. And I said, "No, I follow the pagan path," which is essentially saying, I'm witchcraft or whatever. And he's like, "That's the same." I'm like, "Whoop, no, it's not." Paganism is actually rooted in West Virginia, by the way, guys. So Darren has a great question. He said, "What's the difference with?" He asked this last night on that show. What's the difference between witches today versus the witches from the 1800s and 1900s? I believe that now we are out and able to do more. Do I believe that they were gifted more back then? We have so many things at our fingertips to know so much education. If you study, I really like hoodoo, conjuring. I really like that. I like the containment of jars. I like it's more root. I could feel that element of it. Back then, I think that these women just came into, what do you think? These women had to educate themselves, and it come from a coven.
It was more in the older times. You wouldn't see a man that was considered. There was rarely men that were considered witches.
They were there, though, by the way.
But they were rarely.
Even in the Salem trials, they convicted, yeah.
But it was more, women are more in tune with themselves to help take care of people. So if you walk up and I'm like, and I see that you don't feel good, I feel your energy isn't good, because we from a young age were prone to see how people feel. Even if you have a girl or a boy, you're going to be like, "How do you feel, honey? How do you feel?" If it's a little girl, if it's a little boy, "Oh, that's pushy stuff, get out there and knock that dirt off." From a young age, men are told to kind of suppress their more femininity and go more towards physical things. So in the beginning, these girls are trying to, and the women more so, are trying to fix them. They're thinking of these ways of how to make their family healthier and how to make things better. It was more like a doctor. If you take somebody now and take them back then and offer them this magic pill that's going to make them stop coughing, that right there, they would say, "God damn, you're witchcraft." Which I think that our society has taken witchcraft and made it into things that are more okay with Christianity. Anything you look back then, what they consider witchcraft is our common day uses. If I gave someone a phone back then, that's witchcraft. So why aren't scientists called witches? So it's more of whatever goes easier with the culture. That's the difference in all these. One misconception, though, you look back on those old times and they're like, you use a frog skin and this and that and the other. I mean, this isn't the word for it, but they used more things in terms like that to kind of hide their little tinctures and things. But when you look back, it was actually roots, because our words have changed so much. So they look more badass and scary back then, but in reality, they're just using herbs like us.
So I want to touch on some of these things really quickly. Actually, it's true. It's just the different wrappings that you put it on. I believe they had to be more in tune with their coven back then, truly, to get that education. Now we have it at our fingertips, so we could be all over the place. Back then, to get that, it had to be passed down. I think that's where the notion that it has to be in your bloodline or something like that, because unless you found a book or something like that, it would be harder back then. To me, it would be. You're pulled on that path, but your whole society is pushing that against you, where now it's more open. So it's kind of funny. You gotta listen to this. Darren said, "I was afraid of witches till I met Cynthia and you girls," which I think is hilarious, because then Steve goes in and says, "Darren, you're afraid of your shadow." Okay, so Chad says, "I had a witch girlfriend. I was terrified to break up with her." That is a good thing. Wait, okay. What were we in school?
Okay. Yeah, because I gotta try to get the words in. But with breaking up with someone, I have considered that.
Shit,
I really have.
I forget about our Spreaker also going, guys, so I gotta end this. Not this live. Y'all keep talking. I'm ending our Spreaker. So, thank you guys for joining us on Spreaker, and tune in next time as we explore other endeavors, probably our serial killers, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So have a good week and enjoy yourself, guys.